Get ready to make a vegan dish with me that even the meat lovers will love. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of the Slim on Starch program. Today's video is in celebration of my new cookbook, the Healthy Potlucks Cookbook. With summer upon us and things like Memorial Day barbecues, Father's Day, graduation events, summer parties, block parties, pool parties, we're all gonna find ourselves in a situation where we need to bring something for a crowd. What are we going to bring? That is answered for you in this cookbook. It is 100% whole food plant-based, but we're seeing things like vegan crab cakes, ribs, casseroles, desserts, chips, dip. There's something for everyone in this cookbook, whether you're a whole food plant-based junkie or a meat eater. So you can get this cookbook in the pinned comment, and if you're watching this on the day of the launch, then you can save with a discount code LAUNCH. We're gonna be starting out with a tortilla. These are the Ezekiel tortillas, which I absolutely love. If you don't have access to these tortillas, then I would recommend using some corn tortillas, checking the ingredients and making sure that there's no oil added and there's no lard added. Almost all of the tortillas that you find at the grocery store are going to have those additives, but the Ezekiel brand is fantastic. Some other brands that I love, Atorias is a type of bread that I'll buy online that has great wraps, so you could use those as well. And for my friends that are in weight loss mode, if you don't want to use a processed starch, because this is a little bit more lightly processed, it's a little bit more calorically dense. For my friends that are in weight maintenance or aren't concerned about their weight, absolutely fine. But for my friends that are looking to release weight, then you might want to actually try a large collard green. You could use that as your quote-unquote tortilla instead. Next, from Whole Foods, I got these refried beans that I am so impressed with. This must be a newer product because it says that they're fat-free, and I said, let me be the judge of that. Let me look at the ingredients. I was so impressed by what I saw on the ingredients list. No oil added. Refried beans are so satisfying, especially if you are making this for individuals that typically aren't meat eaters. To have that nice hit of protein, and there's a lot of texture and there's a lot of density to it, can be very satisfying for individuals that are used to having heavier meals, higher fat meals. It can sort of replicate that. So I'm just gonna open these up. Okay, excuse me, sir. I don't want to touch you because I'm cooking, but can we get you down? He won't quit. He is so strong. Okay, he's down. So I'm actually going to heat up some of these refried beans, and let me show you the lazy girl's trick. Put some refried beans into the bowl, and then you add in a little bit of salsa to liquefy it a bit. So we'll mix these together, mash them together with a fork. Throw it in for 30 seconds and then check it. All right, so all we're gonna do here is we're gonna spread this on the tortilla and do a thin layer across the whole tortilla. All right, now I have some fire roasted corn. I get this from Whole Foods. You certainly can use any normal corn, but the fire roasted has a really great flavor to it. So I'm gonna spread some of that on. The fire roasted corn as well is really great for those that are meat eaters because once again, it's giving that sort of charred meat feel to it. I'm gonna take some spinach. Spinach is a great source of iron. A lot of times people will crave meat because they need iron. So if we use something like spinach, we can get in that iron. Then I'm going to be taking this beautiful mix of lentils. Let me show you how I made this as a ground beef alternative. So I got a skillet here that, yes, has been well loved. I'm gonna throw on a half of a diced onion and 2 cloves of garlic that have all been minced. And I wanna get these as small as possible. I don't have any oil in the pan. I do just have a little bit of water. I'm gonna start to saute these. And I'm just gonna add water if they start to stick. I don't wanna add too much water because then I'll steam them, which I don't want to do. So just adding a bit of water to keep it from sticking. And I'm just going to water saute these until the onions are translucent. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning. If you need some recommendation for a seasoning, I would add about 2 tablespoons of a seasoning that's a combination of chili powder, cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, and oregano. I'm actually just using a seasoning that my client Holly gave to me, Purple Haze by Spiceology. But I'm gonna add in that. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of tomato paste from the tube. So that's maybe a half a teaspoon. Mix that around a bit before I go ahead and add in a cup of lentils and 2 1/4 cups of water. I'll mix this all together. I'm gonna bring it to a simmer. And remember, simmer means just below a boil. So I'm gonna turn it down until we're at a simmer. And I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes until the water's soaked up, and I'm gonna be stirring it intermittently. So what I like to do here is just set the timer for 5 minutes, and I'll come and check on it every 5 minutes. All right, it has been 15 minutes. This smells amazing. It looks amazing. It has soaked up all of the liquid, and this will make a great replacement for a sort of ground beef taco meat. Delicious. It has that amazing sound. So I'm just gonna let this sit in the warm pan, and we'll use it. Not only are lentils just delicious, but also this is gonna be so satisfying for the person that usually does eat meat, because they're getting a nice hit of protein. It also has that sort of meaty texture to it, which individuals find very satisfying if they're used to having meat. I also find that using tomato paste here gives a depth and a richness that people usually would try to get through adding some meat on. Then I'm sprinkling on some red onions just because I did have a few left over from the lentils, and I figured this will give a nice bite. And I'm gonna lay across some bell peppers. I find that red bell peppers are the sweetest, but I do like to use all different colors here, and I'm gonna show you why when we get to the end. Now I'm gonna add in some avocado. Adding in avocado is fantastic because this is a nice hit of fat. So on our stomach, we have nutrient receptors and stretch receptors. And individuals that are coming from a diet where they are eating more meat, how perfect is this avocado? Are going to be used to having more fat in their diet. And so if they are not getting a hit of fat from the meal, they're likely not gonna feel satisfied because they're used to having a higher fat, high protein meal. And then when they have something vegetarian or vegan that is, more carbs and less protein and less fat, they're not getting that satisfaction. So if we add in something like avocado, they're likely going to feel a lot more satisfied by this meal. So I'm just gonna lay it on top. Okay, I'm gonna add in just a little bit of salsa. I would prefer pico de gallo here, but it was really pricey, so I just went with the salsa. Okay, now for the fun part. We're gonna roll this up. Now I'm gonna use a serrated knife to make this easier. I'm gonna cut it in half, and now we're gonna cut it like sushi. All right, now we're gonna get a fresh new plate. I'm gonna lay down here my little sushi rolls, or as I call them, mushi rolls. Mexican sushi. So these are absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna make another roll, and we'll talk through why these are the perfect thing to bring to the barbecue, the graduation party, the pool party, the block party, and they look gorgeous with little sprigs of cilantro. And there we have our gorgeous mushi, our Mexican sushi. It has beautiful colors and textures. People are gonna see this and say, that is delicious. They can pop it in their mouths. It's perfect. Let's make more.
Amazing.
Are you just saying that?
I swear.
Good. So the reason why this is perfect to bring with you to a pool party or a graduation is because A, the colors. It is bursting with colors that people are going to be automatically drawn to it. There's a reason why these bell peppers are so vibrant. They're bright red and they're bright orange, and the corn is so bright. We're drawn to those things. So they have this vibrant look to them, and that's why I chose different colors to go into this. The second thing is the way that it's cut up. People are just going to grab them and pop them in their mouths. They're going to pop them in their mouths and say, oh my gosh, what is this? This is so good. I need the recipe for it. It's not something that you look at and right away you know exactly what it is. And that's what's going to make it stand out and make it something memorable. So people will say, oh, can you bring that Mexican sushi again? That was so good. People are going to be asking you for the recipe. Another thing that you'll hear healthy dads say often, we're not eating anything crazy here. There's nothing creepy, crawly. And for the people that are a little bit turned off by the idea of veganism or plant-based, these are all normal foods. You know, everybody knows what beans are and peppers are and avocado is. So you're not eating anything that's too crazy or out of the ordinary that's gonna freak people out. What I love as well is that no matter what age you are, it's a great thing to have. So the kids are gonna love it because they can just pop it in their mouths. And it's also really refreshing because it has the bell peppers in there that are raw. I purposefully didn't cook them to give them that nice crunch and to give some texture to it. It's also a nice balanced, complete meal. We have the starch, we have the carbohydrates coming from the tortilla and from the beans. We have the protein from the lentil mixture and from the beans. Also the spinach gives some protein. We also have some starch from the corn, the fire roasted corn. The avocado gives some healthy fats. I think that this recipe is the perfect combination between something that's normal and recognizable and something that's just different enough that it's intriguing. You know, somebody would look at it and say, you know, I know what that is. It's bell pepper, there's avocado, there's vegetables, there's corn, there's beans, but what's really going on here? I don't know, it looks good. My boyfriend is behind the camera giving two thumbs up. I want an all-you-can-eat sushi place for Mexican sushi, for Mushi. So this can become your next go-to for when you have to bring something. And there's all these different diets to cater to. And if you want more recipes, get the Healthy Potlucks cookbook because there's tons in there. How gorgeous is this Mexican sushi roll, this mushi roll? Don't forget to get your copy of the Healthy Potlucks cookbook. If you made it to this point of the video, comment mushi, M-U-S-H-I-E. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next video. As I clean up, I need to share with you my absolute favorite part of this recipe, which is that you've planted a seed with the person that they might be intimidated by healthy eating. Maybe they want to learn how to eat more vegetables, more nutritious foods, but it's so overwhelming to them. This recipe is so easy, and you don't even have to do the lentils. You can just use black beans instead. You can leave it out entirely. But now somebody has seen something like this, you've planted a seed with them, and maybe they start making it. Maybe you become known as the one that brings mushi to these events. You can share your vibrant, exciting, healthy lifestyle with others through something that's fun and creative. And maybe they start making this too. That's my favorite part of this recipe.